Good morning to all of you. Um, the topic I'm going to be discussing today touches every life, every day, every second, and that is digital transformation. Why did this Industry 4.0 come about? Why did it come about? It came from the developed nations, yes or no? Yes? Why did it come about? The undocumented part of it is they want to take the manufacturing back to their countries. How many of us know that? Read the fine print, you will see it. So in other words, if India is going to be having and implementing Industry 4.0 or 5.0 ahead of the developed nations, would the jobs stay here? Would the manufacturing stay here? So the urgency or the importance of this is towards that. Number one. Number two, fortunately for us, the consumer is here. The market is here. The country which would have to be afraid of this transformation is one on our northeast, not us. We think a little different as compared to others. I'll give you a simple example. Everybody talks about 5 years. Yes? In 94, when I was visiting a factory in two-wheeler factory in Hosur, you know which one it is. I was going through their R&D division, and they had this 5 Japanese words written over there and kept. And I asked them, what is this? He said, you have come from the US, you have worked at Ford, you do not know what it is. I said, in America, if somebody writes something in anything other than English, they will kill you. I'm telling you the facts. I said, no, I do not know. He said, this is 5 years. I said, don't you think that our culture has this in our country itself? பொருள் கருவி காலம் வினை இடனோடு ஐந்தும் இருள் தீர எண்ணி செயல். திருக்குறள். பொருள் கருவி காலம் வினை இடனோடு ஐந்தும். அஞ்சு வந்துதா? So, if we have to, why am I making this statement? If we have to transform our country, bring in technologies from outside of India and put them to use for smarter way of life, then we would be the winners as compared to the rest of the world. We are the cultural capital of the world. We are the civilizational capital of the world. How much time does it take for us to become the industrial capital of the world? So the 3 important barometers that we need to have are cost, time and quality. These are the 3 things every business owner is looking at. Cost, time and quality. Well, at the personal level or at the CEO level, we are interested only in 3 things. Cost, time and quality. I still do not know why resumes come floating around. I am the cost to company. You cannot be a cost to company. Yes or no? Business owners are interested in looking at cost to company. Why should the person put his profile saying this is the cost to company? Right? So when we are looking at these 3 parameters, we need to see these 3 parameters as something which I can see on a day-to-day basis in my organization. Where are my costs going? Are my products getting to my customers on time? Is quality, that's a prerequisite for the product for which I am producing, is it always going to be consistently there? Quality of process, quality of product, quality of whatever we put things together. So the next few slides, I assure you it's going to be 10. It's difficult to sit over there. It's easy to stand here and talk. If we look at history and learn from it, then we will know where we are. The first thing is we started with the Industrial Revolution. We are still in industry. We are still manufacturing. So Industrial Revolution is still continuing. Yes or no? Right. Next is we started automating it for industrial productivity, improvement in productivity. So industrial automation is still there. It is still work in progress. In a lot of different ways, we continue to do it. And the third thing we brought about was information technology. How many of us do not have a website as CEOs of companies? No hand has gone up. Right? Next question I'm going to ask you is, how many of you are getting leads through your website? At least one tangible lead per week. You are not getting it, right? Your website is for the world, not for yourself. So if there's one thing you have to take back today is digital transformation on your website. That's the first thing you need to do. Your web has to be friendly to the mobile because there are enough impatient customers outside of India who are willing to give you products that you need to manufacture in this country. So in other words, digital transformation, if I get at least one lead per month, per week, because of the website what I have put, I have embraced information technology. Otherwise, my work is still in progress. I'm still work in progress. The next thing is, what next? These three things are happening. These three things are going to happen. It will continue to happen. What next? We are getting into what is called as the common denominator is knowledge millennium. People who possess knowledge, who put knowledge to reuse, will survive and conquer. People who do not have it, who look up to people with knowledge, would exist. People who are ignorant of it would die away. So in other words, whether it is Industry 4.0, the word smartness is frightening me. Because why is it frightening me? I cannot afford to have a machine having smartness as compared to the innate intelligence that is built upon ourselves, that we have created societies that we live in. In other words, the smartness in us has to enslave technology. There are two things. One is called as becoming a slave to technology. The second one is called as enslaving technology. If you keep on checking your messages every 2 minutes, you are a slave to technology. How many of you would love to have a person doing a secretarial function for you 24/7 without paying a single penny to that person? Everybody would love it, right? How many of you would love to have a marketing person who's marketing your product or services without taking a single penny from you 24/7? Are your products on YouTube? Are you marketing on YouTube? Yes? Then you have embraced technology. No, your work has not yet started. You need to rush up fast. The world has no boundaries. The world really does not have boundaries. So in other words, when we are putting these technologies together, I'll give you a very simple example. Yesterday, I was talking to a customer. We were doing some work for them, and three divisions this company has got. I wanted to know whether these companies were coming under a particular group, so I wanted to go and search on the web. Do you know that the company does not have a website? I mean, they have a listing under IndiaMart, but they don't have a website by themselves. And this company is from Coimbatore. I was surprised. This company is from Coimbatore and it's growing big time, but they don't have a website. This is the other side paradox of India. When you look at it. Another example is, I'll give you a simple example on this last one, how it is touching our lives. Is Gmail free? Is it free? You want to say yes, but some catch is there. This fellow is telling, is Gmail free? Gmail is not free. Who told you it is free? It is taking buyer's intelligence from you and giving it to the persons who are selling their products and technologies indirectly and making money. See how technology has been embraced by us and we have taken it upon ourselves. We are using it. We continue to pay for it without knowing that we are paying for it. Are you with me? So now, coming back, every business strategy is based on two things. One is cost and the other one is differentiation. When you hear the marketing person from your organization go and talk about how different your product is, how different your services is, you are differentiating. When you are saying I am affordable cost, or I am low cost, or yes sir, we are expensive, how many of us will go and say, no sir, we are expensive? So you look at the 4 quadrants, obviously a low differentiation and a high cost product or service is not going to be existing. So that is vacant. So if you have a high cost and a high differentiation, the business strategy is differentiation. The project strategy is a faster life cycle time till the obsolescence catches over. And third one is, how do you implement it? You look at the schedule planning, schedule management, and risk management. These are your priorities. So if you were to do a project management on this, these 3 would be your priorities if you had products or services, manufacturing or otherwise, in terms of cost and differentiation. You come to the lower left side, you will see low cost, low differentiation, fast moving, commoditization of technology and products. That's what happens over there. So there it is low cost. Cost containment is the strategy, and business implementation is cost planning and cost management, period, nothing else. These are the 2 things. As business owners, we continue to do this, right? Cost management and cost planning. Last one is, on the right side, is low cost but high differentiation. Here it is best product or services at an affordable cost. Here, the strategy is cost and quality coming into picture, because quality is a precursor to reliability. It's a precursor to reliability. Quality is observed, reliability is experienced. So when we come and look at this, the business implementation here is cost planning, cost management, and performance. All 3 come together. Now, if you were to start businesses, or if you want to reorganize your business, in which quadrant would you like to lie? I'm curious. Any one of you? Huh? Low cost? High differentiation, low cost. Right? Okay. I would love you to be in all the 3 quadrants. It's not one or the other. Because the business challenges that you are going to face is not under your control. So you need to have strategies for all the 3 filled columns. You prioritize your investment according to the way you want it in these 3 squares, but consciously based on data. This is the essence of Industry 4.0. When you are making smart decisions, when you are making informed decisions, you know exactly in which quadrant you are as a business owner, as a business strategist, so that you can leverage upon that according to the market demands, according to the climate at that particular point in time, and continuously change your strategies every now and then, so that at the end of the day, your bottom line profitability is maintained or enhanced, and your top level growth has been happening. So all 3 are important. Now, what are the cost contributors? I just put together this. I apologize, it's a little bit low on font size. These are the different areas in which people look at costs. So some of the cost information in a digital transformation would come from your ERP. Whatever you're seeing in gray is coming from enterprise resource planning. Information coming from there. Whatever is coming from a data management is the green one along with ERP. The cost information. The third one is a data management and a project management. You see the yellow one, which is the design. And the last one is all put together, which is the greenish yellow. These are the 4 different contributors that we need to look at to see costs. A company called Rockwell Automation has 7 engineers working only on costing across 21 plants worldwide. And they get cost update every day. Are they digitally enabled to reap the benefit of information technology? Yes. So in other words, if there was one thing that you need to do going back to your office as a COS, please put a cost engineer in your organization. Our syllabus does not have it. please put an engineer I said, I don't want a bean counter. I want an engineer who is sitting there in your office, who is looking at processes and determining the cost and then forecasting the cost when you are giving an RFQ today and you're going to get an order 6 or 8 months down the line. That way, you know exactly where your profitability lies. This digital transformation, if it happens in Indian context, we will be the rulers of this universe. Believe me. Because cost is the only thing that is holding us back. Now, most of us, we estimate a cost at the RFQ's time. We put some numbers together on an Excel spreadsheet and then get all those contributors or the inputs coming in from different sources, put it together in a spreadsheet, calculate some number, add a rough profit to that, and we give it to the customer. Yes or no? And then we haggle. Anyway, he is going to come back and ask us for a reduction in pricing. How many of us go back and look at how many RFQs have we given, how many of them translated into orders? That's called as post-processing the data. When we do that, that's exactly when we know what kind of strategies are paying for us, what is not paying for us. For example, a machine is being developed. There are 10,000 components in that machine. You have put together, you have developed the machine, you have given it to a customer. Now another machine comes in. Now you have to take the previous machine, put some derivatives together and get that. Take that bill of material, look at today's cost, put it together and then add the variant cost to it and say, okay, this is the cost, this is what I made as profit in the previous one, this is what I'm doing it in the next one. As you keep estimating the cost based on your bill of material, using a management system, the dashboards come to you, and the dashboards come as what? What are the principal contributors in your cost? Whether it is the resource cost, the raw material cost, the processing cost, the development cost, which ones are influencing you? So in other words, we are working with a company, we did an audit. Their RFQ to order transformation was 3%. RFQ to order transformation was 3%. When a customer asks you for an RFQ, you have to turn around and give him the proposal within 24 hours, period. This is what the Chinese have mastered. Believe me. 24 hours, not more than that. Unless there are some queries to be answered. So in other words, the non-value added activity called as the request for proposal that you are putting together, it's a non-value added activity unless you get the order. Has to be minimized, has to be automated. That's exactly where the digital transformation comes into picture. Put data, take the data, start reusing it. Now the next one is quality. This picture is summarizes every company's business strategy. On the first quadrant, you will see the performance versus the tolerances that you put in your manufacturing. On the second quadrant, better marketing versus revenue that you are generating. The third quadrant is cost versus cost, so it's a no-brainer. The last one is manufacturing cost versus the tolerances. So you have different options in front of you. One is to produce a robust design. The other one is to improve your manufacturing capability. And the third one is to have better marketing. Now look at that. If you look at the revenue versus cost, the red line, though you are having a superior performance and a beautiful manufacturing capability, in spite of a better marketing, can you see that your profit margin is less? Or in fact, you are losing money? Are you able to see that? This comes from data. So now when you look at the blue line, where you take a moderate approach across all the three, you are able to see dividends. So this information, the three quadrants graphs have to be known to you to be able to make decisions based on this. For that, the prerequisite is you need to digitally transform the data that is already available in your organization and put them to reuse in a strategic manner. So in a digital transformation in any organization, the inquiry or the requirements management has to be digitized. Second one is the product and the project data has to be brought into digital form. We are having drawings in digital form. That alone is not enough. Engineering data has to be brought in, and the workflow automation and the notification has to be in. There are two productivity killers in any organization. One is the meeting, the second one is the mobile phone. Yes or no? These are the two largest productivity killers in any organization. So in other words, if information has to go to somebody, when I was working at Ford, we never used to have a meeting on Monday or a Friday. Nothing gets done on those days anyway. Tuesdays and Thursdays, no tea, coffee or cookies served during meetings, which left only with one day, which is Wednesday. It was a parasitical proportions, that a number of meetings that were being taken up and no meeting was being concluded upon, So now, if you have the notification and the workflow automation, people make informed decisions at their levels, keeping the organizational growth into focus. That's exactly what Industry 4.0 is talking about, right? At the end of the day. Then your engineering change management, that kills the company. The ECOs and the ECN notes kill companies. If it's coming from marketing, then you know where the problem is. If it's coming from manufacturing, you know where the problem is. If it's coming from design, you know where the problem is. So those are the KPIs at the end of the day for the organization. So to stay informed, this knowledge has to be put to reuse. That's why the knowledge in management comes towards the end. So in other words, starting with sales, inquiry team, engineering, manufacturing, quality and IT, all of them have to be tied together, connecting the dots, using this kind of a framework that needs to be put in place. So in other words, the first step you would take is digital transformation of current manual processes. Second one is you put a Google search inside your organization so that people can get the information what they need. It's easy for you to get your competitors' catalog information from your Google, but it's very difficult to get our own information from our organization. Yes or no? So that's the second step that we need to take. Third one is digital notification to stay updated. You can always get notifications on your mobile or things like that, but still, people cannot say that I did not get the latest drawing. People cannot say that I did not know that this inquiry came about. Last one is measuring the information that is coming from downstream our organization, putting in terms of dashboards, how many inquiries were processed, how many are still waiting, work in progress, how many projects are coming in, how many got transformed from inquiries to projects. All these kinds of information put together in configurable form in dashboards. So in other words, in terms of benefits, it gives you an early warning system so that you don't react, you proact. And they stay focused on innovation and accelerated new product development because that's your core strength for any manufacturing enterprise. Stay informed so that the decision making can be done at the individual level. Alignment of the engineering processes to organizational growths and strategies. And then process driven and efficiency is the name of the game. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Natarajan. Wonderful talk. I think we've coming to the close of